The turf meets the surf at Old Del Mar. It's the Breeders' Cup 2025. We're going to take an updated look at the contenders for the Distaff. One of the more wide open races this year. Last year at 2 to 5, Torpedo Anna kicked off a campaign that saw her win the Horse of the Year. But this year we've got a lot more competitive horses, maybe 3-4 horses under 5 to 1 in the Distaff. They're going to be going 9 furlongs, a mile and an eighth on the dirt. It's one of the original Big 7 races, part of Breeders' Cup weekend on Saturday. It does include the Argentinian sensation, Sarawak Rim. She's 4 for 5. Meanwhile, you've got Seismic Beauty, back-to-back wins. Dorth Vader, Scylla for Bill Mott, Clicquot, who won the Cotillion Stakes at Parks last time out, a 2-time stakes winner. We've also got Scottish Lassie, the Turf and Dirt Star in Nitrogen, Gin, Dry Powder, a Japanese contender, and Alice Verite. But let's take a look at the top contenders, starting off with the sensation from Argentina, Sarawak Rim. She comes in 4 wins and 5 starts, a Group 1 winner, and Ignacio Correas trains this one. Let's take a look at some of those action, starting off with the Group 1 Criades in May. Sarawak Rim in the middle of the track, kind of evenly with 2-3 horses, and then she explodes late to win that race. That was a Breeders' Cup Challenge win and you're in for Sarawak Rim. Now before that, she had won 3 of 4 races. She's only lost 1 time. Let's go back to another race, a maiden race in December, first time out. This was a big win. Really, she's just kind of cruising along here, and Sarawak Rim indicated at some stakes potential in that debut. So Sarawak Rim going to be one of the favorites in the Distaff, under 10 to 1. Ignacio Correas, this will be his final start as a trainer. He's had a lot of big wins. Going to train Sarawak Rim Breeders' Cup weekend. 4 for 5 by remote is the sire out of a Dan Sealy. And then Giant's Causeway, the broodmare sire. It'll be interesting to see what Sarawak Rim does on the Distaff day. Now, Clicquot, last time out in the Cotillion, chased a fast pace, made a stretch move, trained by Brendan Walsh. Let's go back to Parks and winning that race. 4th win in a row, won a maiden race, then allowance race, then the Indiana Oaks, and then the Cotillion Stakes. Clicquot, big win last time out. She's a 3-year-old taking on older horses. Of course, Clicquot, the Cotillion Stakes, the Indiana Oaks, her 2 stakes wins. Then she's got an allowance win and a maiden special weight win. She's really improved a lot in the last 2-3 months, getting good coming into the Distaff. Scottish Lassie laid it all down in the CCA Oaks. A big win, a big dominating victory that day. 4th in the Cotillion Stakes, did not fire as one of the favorites, but Scottish Lassie last year won a big race in the fall. She seems to be a type of horse that cycles into that summer and fall campaign. She's another one, a 3-year-old, taking on the older horses in this race in Scottish Lassie. Dorth Vader, the force was with her a couple of times this year. Let's go back to the personal ensign. She ran 2nd, but she ding-donged all the way down the stretch with Torpedo Anna. Had her right before the wire, had her right after the wire. Torpedo Anna really didn't recover from that race. Then earlier this summer, it was Dorth Vader, first in the Ogden Phipps. That was on the Belmont Stakes weekend up at Saratoga. Dorth Vader seems to be training well, and she is one of the older horses in the contingent this year for the Breeders' Cup. Always seems to run a pretty good race. Has a few races where she's kind of regressed a little bit. Seems to be cycling into a good race with time off. Dorth Vader. Nitrogen, a turf winner, a stakes winner on the turf and the dirt. Let's go back to the Alabama Stakes. She beat the Kentucky Oaks winner. Good cheer in this race. Kind of a stretch long duel. She is the type of horse that probably prefers a 1.25 miles, prefers to kind of wait. You know, there's going to be some speed in this race. She ran in the Spinster Stakes last time out, chased the Lone Speed and Gin. Nitrogen going to try to close out her campaign with a win in the Distaff. Scottish Lassie, Nitrogen, and Clicquot are among the 3-year-olds in this year's Distaff. Now, Nitrogen 6 wins, 3 seconds, and 11 lifetime starts. Second in the Spinster, first in the Alabama. You've got third place finish last year in the Breeders' Cup. That was on the turf. As a juvenile, she's won stakes on both the turf and the dirt. Now, Seismic Beauty, back-to-back wins coming into the Distaff. Let's go back to the Clement Hirsch. Big victory, powerful race on the front end, wire-to-wire, trained by Bob Baffert. Seismic Beauty picked up that win last time out. Then, earlier this year, Seismic Beauty in the Santa Margarita Stakes, she won that by 5. Powerful effort there as well. Continues to win races, lightly raced, still maybe a chance of some upside. She is one of the older horses in this race in Seismic Beauty, going for the West Coast Contender and trained by Bob Baffert. Now Scylla, she has run in sprints. She's done well in routes. Second in the Ballerina Stakes. This was to Hope Road, who will be one of the favorites in the filly and mare sprint. Scylla pressed the pace, then battled with her along the inside. Going on to victory was Hope Road. Scylla finished second. You know, Scylla's one of those horses that has stakes experience in both routes and sprints. She was first in the Fleur de Lis last year. That was at Churchill Downs, a big effort. Earlier this year, third in the Honorable Miss. Does not have a win in 2025, but Bill Mott has done well in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Seems to get horses to kind of peak on this day, and overall he's done well in the Breeders' Cup. Of course, he's got Sovereignty in the Classic, Scylla here in the Distaff, and her top effort puts her kind of in the mix here, and see what she does. Probably going to be about 7 or 8 to 1 in the odds on the Distaff day. Now, a Japanese horse worth considering is Alice Verte. Fourth in the Breeders' Cup Distaff last year. Wanted to point out her trip. You know, Torpedo Anna was 2 to 5 last year. Alice Verte behind horses down the backstretch. Kind of took a lot of dirt. She's ran a lot of turf races. She has been speed on the turf. She could be a type of horse that gets sent in this race, but there's other speed in Seismic Beauty and Jin Jin and Gunsong, all capable of being near the lead. But Alice Verite, maybe a 10 to 1 shot worth considering for the Distaff. Now, Majestic Opes got the job done at Monmouth. That was in the slop, Lady Secret Stakes. Led him into the stretch, then kind of just held sway. Was ridden all the way out to the wire, but Majestic Oops goes for Dan Ward. This is another one who's got a lot of stakes experience, but another one that also likes to be forwardly placed on the lead. That might benefit horses like Sarawak Rim and Nitrogen coming a little bit more off the pace. Traditionally, the Distaff, you favor the older horses. Horses with multiple Grade 1 wins tend to be the winners of this race, and also horses that have speed or forwardly placed have done well in the past in the Distaff. A good Distaff field this year. Sarawak Rim, we've got a Japan Contender, Nitrogen, good on both surfaces, and Seismic Beauty, back-to-back wins on the West Coast, all add to the intrigue of the Distaff. Share, like, and subscribe, support the channel, and leave a comment who you like in the Distaff, who are some of your top contenders, and remember what D. Wayne Lucas always said, people have opinions, horses have the facts.